Texas's AM sports leader.
The views and opinions of the hosts or guests of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of the management or staff of Intercom Memphis.
Watch the sunrise, new day's dawning, and it's calling you and me. Where the mighty Mississippi flows by Memphis, Tennessee. We've got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there is no better way. You can find out all about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Make some time, take the family, ask a friend, but don't delay. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Listen up and learn about it on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Good Saturday morning. Welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Gaston's White River Resort, and Barton Power Sports. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Da, 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 da. Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Like indoors right now.
Indoors with
Indoor.
Larry Ray. Hey, here, good Saturday morning. Man.
We're going to have to cut his caffeine back a little bit, I
so.
believe.
Let me get a swig of this coffee out of my camo coffee. Where's my camo coffee cup? I can't see it on the desk here. So, hey, we're back. I mean, really, really back. I mean, out last week on my wife and myself's big trip to
Your pilgrimage.
Yeah, it really was. It was a fast 9 or 10 days out to Utah, Arizona, and Nevada. Briefly in Nevada, flew into Nevada. Took 3 hours to fly to Las Vegas and 2 hours to get my rent-a-car. So other than that, but great trip. 50th wedding anniversary trip. Our wedding anniversary is not till December, but it's hard to go out west in December, so we plotted this trip, and it's just me and Brother Dave right now as we wait. Dave Gabbert, the Minister of Propaganda.
I'm amazed. It's October already.
It is amazing.
It is.
But it feels good this morning, doesn't it?
It does. It's fall is in the air.
You've got on, you're not in your regular shorts and
that's what
you're layered
kind
over
of
there.
the 1st of October. I have to put long pants
He's
back
got
on.
long pants and a long shirt. But if you're wondering where Gene Smith is, we are too. Gene, where are you? No, we talked to Gene, and he's on his way. And it takes a long time to get to Raleigh on that covered wagon.
Yeah,
So we.
He's riding a unicycle now.
Is that what he's on right now? He he's. I think he's riding a Mata bus.
Yeah.
So, but he's on his way, and we hope to get Gene in here. But this is Open Mic Saturday. This is the Saturday that you all can't wait for. 274-7979. You remember the numbers. All you faithful followers out there. And, hey, I want to send out a good morning to a person who I understand listens to this show all the time, and that is, if I can find his name. Do you have his name over there? Did I give you his
You didn't
copy?
give me his name.
All right, what's his name?
It's Alan Heidelberg.
Alan Heidelberg from Enterprise Cars. Good morning, Alan. I know you're listening out there because I've understand that you're one of our listeners, so you need to remember that number, Alan, 274-7979, because we're going to be giving away some prizes throughout today's show. Got some good stuff from Ruger that I know you're going to like, our good friends at Ruger and John Kitchens. And then, of course, we're going to give away that $25 Avery gift card from John Gordon from Avery. And we've made a new stipulation on that. To win that, you have never won it before. That's the only way. We've got a list of Avery previous winners.
Yeah.
And we want somebody new to win that Avery gift card, $25, and we'll be giving that away.
Yep. Big Brother is watching.
Yeah, that's right. But this is Larry Ray, and like I said, a great trip last week. out of town, on the road, 1,500 miles in our rent-a-car. I tell you what, Dave, beautiful country at this time of the year in southern Utah. Got to see the north rim of the Grand Canyon, spent a night at the lodge on the north rim, which is 2,000 feet higher than the south rim, a lot less commercialized. Got in a cabin there that was really close to come down and eat. Got the chance to eat at the lodge. We want to make reservations at the lodge to eat. You had to make reservations. So I found out what reservations were open, and they told me you could eat at 4:30, 4:45, or 9 o'clock. So all the ones in between were filled already for September the 27th. So I said, well, okay, we'll take 4:45. I want you to know they put us right next to the window overlooking the Grand Canyon, and had a wonderful meal. We came back at 8:45 and asked if we could eat again. You know, it was one of those trips, but got to see a lot of great country, and I tell you what, our country, we're blessed to have some.
Oh, yes.
And at this time of the year, we were the minority, Dave. I'm telling you. There were more Europeans, there were more Orientals. It felt like you were at the United Nations because the tour buses were everywhere. And I got actually in line at one place to eat at a restaurant and found out that I was in the middle of a German tour bus at the restaurant. I was standing in the middle, and they were just going right past me. And they were looking at me, why are you in this line, sir? And I said, 2 Americans. You know, I just tried to get in the restaurant, but they said first come, first serve. Well, I was in the middle of the line, but it was a great experience.
Well, that's Brother Darrell and I yesterday. We did a day out at Graceland. They had a special thing for homeschool kids.
Yeah,
and it's amazing the people out there. We talked to people from Switzerland, a lot of people from Great Britain, Australia, and just it was fascinating getting to talk with them, and they. Of course, we had our table set up, had all our bones boxed, all the pelts and everything, and they were amazed. And but just like one young lady I was talking to from England, she said, "No," I said, "Yeah, from around." I said, "You ain't from around here, are you?"
Well, we met a lot of folks. That actually. If you mention Memphis, that's what they're going to say.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they're not going to say. So we have some other great people from here,
But
they said Elvis. I mean, he has arrived. Let's yeah. Still got his pajamas on.
How do you walk in them bunny slippers?
He's a Square Pants. What's his name? Billy Bob Square Pants.
Billy Bob Square
Pants. To kind of reiterate what you were saying about the Grand Canyon, I was out there one time, and we're sitting there, and of course, a lot of international type tourists there, and the only English-speaking couple we met on the South Rim that day was another couple from Tennessee.
Really? Yeah. well, that's strange because where the first place that we ate. And I know you listeners are loving this, but it was a trip of a lifetime. When we got to Vegas, it was 104, and we got to our room that night in Duck Creek Village, it was 45. But we stopped and ate in Cedar City, Utah.
Yep, been there.
And you know where we ate at? Cracker Barrel.
Right.
You can't beat home cooking.
And the guy could not believe that. I talked to the manager, and he said it's been open 6 years. And I said, I can't believe the first place we come from Tennessee, and the first place we eat is in Utah at the Cracker Barrel. Yeah. And he said, well, it was a real good, it was like home, being back home and everything. But we had a great time. Thanks for all you folks, and thanks for Ron Wong filling in, and Bill Cooksey last week.
Hey, they did a great job.
Yeah, they did.
They did a great job.
They did.
And maybe you'll get to go back out there once the statute of limitations run out.
No, we're going on our 100th wedding anniversary.
All right.
We're gonna make all the records. Us, and we'll take Dale Sanders along with us. The Mississippi River guy. So
I think I'll be out there in a couple of weeks.
I know you will. You love that
Vegas.
country, and you'll be at St. George's, and they were breaking all the temperature records in St. George's. It was really, but a beautiful country. We went through Zion, went through Bryce. In fact, in Zion, We went in on the east side to go into Zion National Park.
Oh, that's a beautiful park.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Well, the next morning after we had been in there and seen it, at 4:30 the next morning, a 300-pound boulder and a 200-pound boulder came down on the road.
Oh.
On the road at 4:30 in the morning. Now, they don't open till 6, so nobody's on the road, or it would have been devastating. Because I'm telling you, folks, this is bumper to bumper going into those parks. Zion and Bryce. And we went through Kodachrome State Park, all these different things. The canyon. We went through Sedona, which is in Flagstaff, right out of Flagstaff, and actually got to see Montezuma's well. I didn't. You know, some people thought I went to high school with Montezuma, but I didn't. We didn't get to see his castle, but saw his well. But came back with my shingles. You folks have asked about that. Did the medicine? Thank you, Dr. Arthur Franklin. The medicine hit it. They say if you get on that medicine 72 hours, you have a really good chance. And but I do recommend folks, if you're 60 or older, which is most of my friends.
Yeah, I've had my shot.
Yeah, you need to get that shot. Now, I know there's still a chance to get the shingles. I would want this on anybody. So I'm down to a couple of spots left on me, but
Vicky had it around her face. She thought it was going to go in her eye.
Yeah. Well, you can. It's bad. And so we took off on the trip with the shingles, but made it fine and got only a couple of spots. But I kept expecting it to break out, but no,
well, good.
It didn't. So we had a great trip. Going to have a great show this morning with Brother Gene is now in the building.
Now, you're talking about the rocks. Now, I used to have them signs, watch for fallen rocks. I thought that was a Native American.
No, that was your name.
I
have to tell you the story about Gene Smith's picture showing up on my camera. That completely blew my wife's mind when he had anyway, we'll talk about that. Dave Gabbard has got us a couple of real key guests from the TWRAs. We talk about the deer season cranking up. The bow season's going on now. We're getting close to that special time for us black powder people out there. But then we're going to talk a little safety, hunter safety with Brian Thompson. You got that set up right?
Right.
Got to talk to Brian. And we're going to talk on today's show with Deborah Hinks, one of our favorite pro bass fishermen, about a special tournament she's got. So let's take a break.
And I hear music.
You can hum along with us. This is Outdoors with Larry
got your
Ray.
finger loaded, Greg. I look at it, man. He can point that thing.
Let's take our first break of the morning. Get ready, 274-7979 for those prizes.
Where the mighty Mississippi flows by Memphis, Tennessee. We've got woodlands, fields, and water. Hey, there is no better way. You can find